We're the Keystone Club from the Tenderloin Clubhouse. We have been working with the SFMTA and other community organizations on a project known as Our Voices, Our Streets.
On today's agenda, we'll begin with a check-in, then an introduction, objective, understanding safety, and close with a closing survey.
Who we are. We are the Tenderloin Keystone Club. We are team leaders who advocate for issues that will help make our clubhouse and community safer. We have 4 areas of focus: academic success, career prep, community service, and teen outreach.
Did you know? Every year in San Francisco, about 30 people lose their lives and over 200 more are seriously injured while traveling on city streets. These deaths and injuries are unacceptable and preventable, and San Francisco is committed to stopping further loss of life. Some statistics that we have found were that every 9 days, someone in the Tenderloin is injured in a traffic crash. Speeding is the #1 cause of traffic fatalities, and the city of San Francisco adopted Vision Zero in 2014. Traffic fatalities have remained at an average of 28 deaths. As of April of 2021, a new speed limit in the Tenderloin is 20.
Our objective. Our objective is to help educate the public on traffic safety expectations and changes in behavior. Safety consists of both pedestrian and traffic safety. We also want to get community input and feedback about streets in both the TL and SOMA districts. This can be things like quick build projects or street changes.
Understanding it. Pedestrian safety is having safe places to walk in the vicinity of traffic and having caution when crossing streets. To practice it, you can look both ways while crossing the streets, pay attention to oncoming traffic, be aware of surroundings, wait rather than speed, and do not jaywalk.
Understanding it. Traffic safety is methods or measures used to prevent street users from being killed or seriously injured. A way to practice this is to keep your eyes on the road, drive within the speed limit, don't race others, do not road rage, wear seatbelts, don't drink and drive, and remember, pedestrians first.
SFMTA Vision Zero Quick Build Projects. What are they? They are a way to help implement pedestrian, bicycle, transit, and traffic safety on the Vision Zero High Injury Network, which is basically where engineering is used to help reduce traffic-related fatalities and severe injuries. These improvements are things that are reversible, relatively quick traffic safety improvements that can be done in weeks or months' time. Some of these quick build projects are painting traffic delineators and street signs, parking and loading adjustments, traffic signal timing, transit boarding islands and road diets, bulb outs, and pedestrian scrambles, which we will talk about later.
Taking a closer look at the District's 6 streets in the Tenderloin. The Tenderloin Daylighting project addresses safety needs at 80 intersections in the Tenderloin. The Tenderloin Daylighting effort focused on the area bound by Market, Mason, Pine, and Larkin streets to improve pedestrian visibility at all intersections. 1 to 2 parking spaces per approach on each side of the street was removed and replaced with red zones. These red zones improve sight lines between drivers and people crossing the street. In total, 180 parking spaces were removed at 80 intersections. In spring of 2018, the SFMTA installed a series of improvements on Turk Street between Market Street and Gulf Street. The wide variety of people on Turk is reflected in the wide variety of transportation use, including private automobiles, transit, pedestrians, and both passenger and commercial loading. As a high-injury corridor, this project sought to create a safer and more predictable and more comfortable street for all users. There has been 88% fewer loading violations compared to the before condition recorded on Turk, and 287% average increase in the number of people biking at all observed locations in the evening peak hour, and vehicular speeds decreased up to 10% in the project area. The SFMTA installed physical distancing lanes on Jones Street from O'Farrell Street to Golden Gate Avenue to expand walking space to alleviate overcrowding sidewalks. This change included converting one-car travel lane and parking to add the additional walking space. The walkway and vehicle lanes are separated by concrete barriers and flex posts. The number of vehicles traveling on Jones Street and Hyde Street dropped by 24% and 15% when comparing the 6-month after condition to the pre-project condition. Pedestrian counts at the intersections of Jones and Golden Gate Avenue and Jones at Eddy Street decreased by 3% at both locations when compared to the pre-project condition.
Taking a closer look at South of Market quick build projects on Brannan Street, 5th Street, 6th Street, and 7th Street. The changes on Folsom Street between 11th and Falmouth Streets were completed in early 2018. Improvements included parking, protected bike lanes, doubling the number of yellow commercial loading zones, and bus boarding islands. Some daylighting was also implemented. There are also fewer loading violations compared to the before condition. On average, people loaded for shorter periods of time. 21% increase in number of people biking at all observed locations. 83% of people biking felt more comfortable along Folsom Street after implementation, while 88% of people driving felt more comfortable or no change at all. In late 2017, the SFMTA installed a series of improvements on Folsom Street with the goal of improving safety for all road users. 7th and 8th Street Safety Project. This project implemented several infrastructure improvements on 7th and 8th Streets, including paint treatments to increase the visibility of people who bike and walk, transit boarding islands to provide smoother bus boarding, a protected bikeway to increase safety and comfort for people biking, and reconfigured parking and loading zones along the corridors. 9th and Division Street Protected Intersection. 96% of drivers approaching a bicyclist yielded, and 100% of drivers approaching a pedestrian yielded. 98% of vehicles turned at speeds at or below the speed limit. Up to 85% of bicyclists and 55% of pedestrians reported their level of comfort and feeling of safety increased. 80% of vehicles on San Bruno Avenue and 50% of vehicles on 9th Street blocked the bike lanes crosswalk while waiting for a gap in traffic.
Some of the quick build projects that have already been implemented are things like road diets, which are basically bike lanes that are used to help reduce street lanes and provide additional safety features, and they have shown to reduce collisions. The pedestrian scrambles are when the streetlights allow pedestrians to cross in any direction and keep cars out of the intersection for safer crossing, or curb extensions help narrow streets and allow additional pedestrian walking space. Shifting are things we can ask ourselves. Instead of driving to my destination, is it possible to get there in a more environmentally suitable way, such as taking Muni or using a bike or walking or even rollerblading to your destination?
Our voice and participation matters. Let your adult allies in SFMTA know what are these simple things to make pedestrian and traffic safety a priority in our practices. Contact SFMTA, Youth Commission, Vision Zero SF, TL Bike Coalition, TL Community Benefit District, or SOMA spaces to let them know.
Activating possibilities. What our streets can look like. Redesign streets to become self-enforcing. With help from neighborhoods like the Tenderloin, we can redesign streets to center community. Reach 0 deaths and accidents from traffic-related incidents. Help reduce climate change as cars make up 46% of greenhouse gas emissions annually in San Francisco. Advocate for more of these projects to happen.